Hi, this is Craig from GMC4x4.com, the site for Chevy and GMC truck enthusiasts. As part of our upgrade video series, I'm going to show you guys today how to install this nice big Samlex 1000-watt pure sine commercial grade wave inverter. In addition to simply installing this inverter, I'm actually also going to go through the install kit that you can get separately from Samlex. This is really nice heavy-duty 4-gauge wire, all made in America. It also comes with these really nice saltwater rated fuse buses with fuse. You get really nice terminal lugs with it as well. Good set of instructions. I've gone through these, really nicely written. I've also purchased this remote. We're actually going to be installing this inverter remotely, which is why this is nice for turning it on and off to reduce just the small power draw that would go through the unit normally. Long wire, which is really great for the remote. This helps us because we're going to be putting this in the trunk eventually, and then all the miscellaneous parts and pieces to clean up your install with wires. To do this, you really don't need a lot of tools. Hammer, 2 different size flatheads. This is just a cutting tool for cutting the wire. A knife, this will help you separate the wires on the boot, and then a socket set. And you really just need, I think it's 2 or 3 sockets to do this whole thing. So as you can see, really nice and easy kit to install. If you do this yourself, it's about as easy as it gets. If not, wiring isn't too hard to come by. This is a great install kit, really happy with the components that came in it. I'll show you guys why did we go with Samlex and why in particular 1000-watt commercial grade unit. Well, this is what we were using on the 03E truck for about a year and a half. As some of you guys may know, we were off the grid for 3 months, so electricity for us was pretty important. The reason we went pure sine and also went with Samlex is from a pure sine perspective, we've got some pretty expensive camera batteries, also our laptops, and then when in range cell phones. So we wanted to go with pure sine wave. 600 watts was great. The unit was able to handle the extreme in temperatures from freezing, all the way up to 180 degrees. Great thermal management. Really enjoyed this unit. When I called up Samlex, we actually had a higher power consumption than what the 600-watt could handle. So we needed greater capacity. And even though this thing was great for what it was intended, we needed something a little bigger. So after speaking with their engineers, and this kind of blew my mind that when I called them, I was able to get their engineers on the phone, we decided to go with their commercial grade unit. This is all metal body. Your intakes here, the power handling capability you can see. It's a temperature controlled fan, which is really nice. It's not going to overdraw on electricity unless this fan needs to kick into high gear. Really nice terminal ends, so really nice clean power and grounding distribution. This is for the remote. You've also got overload protection, over temperature protection. This indicates it's on, plus 2 of these. And we're actually going to install power strips to this, so this unit can really handle a lot of power. Samlex has also been in business for over 20 years. Everything I read about them was great online, and that's where kind of started us with the 600 watt. After using that, decided to go 1000. For you guys that might be interested in something a little more wallet friendly, they make a modified sine wave inverter. That really nice unit you can also use to charge some of your expensive batteries. So now that we've got kind of went over with you guys the new unit, tools we need, reasons why we went with it, I'm going to start prepping the truck. So let's get over there and I'll show you guys what we're up to. Stay tuned. Alright, so even though I'm installing this on a Chevy Tahoe, it's applicable for just about any vehicle. So I'm going to be running the inverter off of the truck's second battery. And where you want to start is by taking your wire. You need to measure the length of just how much you need based on where you're going to place the inverter in the truck. You're going to have to go through the firewall for any vehicle where you install this, unless you've got some nice big openings here, through the door well. But I found going through the firewall is the best for a heavy gauge, especially something as thick as a 4-gauge. On a stock Chevy or GMC truck, you'll find, and probably most other vehicles, you're going to find that there's bundles of wires that go through your firewall. In some cases, you can slide the 4-gauge through that bundle and it'll slip in just fine. In other cases, like what I've done here, I've drilled the firewall. And it's going to be hard to see, but if you do drill your firewall, get a rubber grommet. Put the hole in the firewall that you need for the size wires that you're running. Just do one hole, snake both your positive, which is the red wire, and your black through there, and get a rubber grommet, and that'll help save the casing of the wires from getting nicked on the firewall. Never run wire through a firewall without a rubber grommet to protect it. And one other tip, whenever you're running wire, black on an automobile should always be your ground wire, and red should always be your power. If you don't run that combination, make sure you label it, but this makes it a lot easier to see. This truck has already been wired, so this is my power wire, and again, I'm going to leave it disconnected. Even though I could connect it right here, I'm going to leave that disconnected. This is my ground, so you can see by the black wire underneath here. Also, and this is just a good habit, if you can get yourself this crimp, stuff is really cheap. Get yourself a bundle, and that'll further help protect the wire from any types of nicks, cuts, and then even protects a little bit from heat. So to start, take your wires, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these later, but for, if you're just running a short length, use these wires and run them through the firewall. As you can see, down here, this is the red wire as it came through the firewall. It's to the left of my brake pedal, and then this is the black wire. So just snake that through, and I've got a custom console, so these wires are going to terminate inside here. And what I'm going to show you guys next on the video, now that the wires have been run, is how to crimp those terminal ends and how to power up the inverter. So stay tuned, and I'll show you guys that. Alright, now that my line has been measured, and I'm just taking this out of the truck to kind of show you guys as an example. For you guys that have already run your length in the truck, you can always do this in your truck as well. So this is, you get both ends on the Samlex kit, have the terminals already on. Once you've measured your line, what you're going to do is, you're going to cut terminal off. So you can see I'm using as much line as I can, so I just cut a little nub off. That's what this cutting tool was for. You'll see most people have line kits like this. The largest this goes up to is 10 gauge, nowhere near large enough for 4 gauge, so I'm just going to show you how to do it with simple tools. So get your cutters, cut off one of these lugs. This is required for the 1000 watt because you have to install new lugs on it. Once you do that, you get these really nice lugs in the kit, and this one I've already crimped down to show you what you need to do. And this is where that large flathead comes into place. So what you want to do is, you can see it on the video, this seam that runs flat right here, your first hit should be down the center, and this lug is so big I did probably about 3 or 4 hits down here to crimp it. So 1, 2, you'll get a really nice crimp on the line, and then I went across it like an X. Your goal when you're crimping this is you want this to envelop the cable, but you don't want to split this casing all the way down the middle. And then you can see as I pull on it, there's no way this is coming off. For you guys that have solder, it's a good time you can run solder in there, and that will permanently, essentially, weld the cable to the lug. Once you have that done, it's in time to install it into your inverter. And of course, I've already done this for the black line. So this is our ground cable, this is our power cable. Once you've done both of it, you're ready to go. So stay tuned, I'll show you guys how to install it in the inverter, nice and easy. Alright, so this is again just as a demonstration to show you how to wire it into your truck. This big inverter is actually going to be wired remotely into the trunk of the truck, but just wanted to show you guys how to do it on your own. So again, this is our positive cable, nice and easy, it's already been crimped. Put it into that side. And when you tighten this, just go like I don't know, an eighth of a turn or a quarter turn past snug. There's no reason to bear down on it. These lugs aren't going anywhere. The black goes into this white terminal here. This is your ground. Again, tighten that down. There's no reason to go more than past half a turn. Once you've done that, even though this inverter is now wired into the truck, remember, it's still not wired into the battery. That's going to be the absolute last step that we do. This is our nice remote cord. Plug that in here. You take your other end, and of course, plug it in, just like this. And one nice feature of having this custom console, and this is really, if you guys are stepping up into this side, you can mount this even in your plastic OEM ones, but This is going to be mounted right here, and Samlex had a great design element. You'd see the plug comes out of the back. It allows this face panel to sit flush. So while I'm driving, when you guys are driving, all you have to do is press the button to turn it on and off. So again, for your truck, depending on where you put this is at least the quick way to wire it up. One nice aspect, if you guys go with the consumer grade version or one of their modified sine waves, is that you can see here, this unit is really the width of that transmission well, or really, you know, the hump between the two seats, as people call it. So this is a perfect unit if you want to install it underneath your center console, if you've got a stock console, or you just want to put it up here, you know, essentially, well, below the console, but it's just the width of the pad there. So it's a great little unit. What I'm going to show you guys next is how to hot wire it and finish up the install of the truck. All right, so now we're up to the final part of the install, and that's installing the inverter to the battery. So we're going to start with, remember, this is our hot wire, it's red. So this is the first cable we're going to work with. This is that nice fuse that we got in the kit. It's the nut. Nice stainless steel lock washer and stainless steel washer. And you can see what's nice about these fuses, there's always already a washer built in. So take your power line, install there, then you go washer, lock washer, and the lock washer helps the nut so it doesn't back off, followed by the nut. What I recommend when you install these is, of course, you always use your hands. Never use a tool to start a nut. Take that down and get a socket and tighten this, you know, a quarter to a half turn at most past snug. If you go any further and bear down on it, remember, this fuse is plastic, you're going to crack it. And my recommendation is, once you get these fuses, buy 2 more. You should always have 3 in every kit. Once you snug this up, you're good to go. So next, this is a quad terminal battery. This particular fuse is going to be installed here, and the threads coming out of the battery, or that bolt that comes out of the battery, it's going to go through that hole. You snug it down there, you're good to go. For you guys that have side terminals, you can install it, you know, back either like this, depending on how high the terminals are, or face it outward. And again, do the same as you would on the top, put it on the bolt, and then snug it down with you know, whatever you're using to hold your accessories on. The reason why we do power first is because once you ground it, the connection will be live. So you're less likely to be shocked if you do your ground last. So then install your ground, and your inverter is wired and ready to go. Of course, always make sure you check all of your electrical connections. Be safe about it, because you're running through the firewall. Make sure you have a grommet, and it's always nice to have this shielding on the wire just for extra protection. So I hope you guys found the install helpful. I gave you guys some good information about Samlex, so check them out if you're interested in these type of inverters, whether it's a modified sine wave all the way up to your you know, your big commercial units, which is what we're installing here. And this video will be posted on GMC4x4.com, so if you have any questions, comments, come check us out. We got a great web forum community over there, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. So stay safe out there, and see you on the trails.